Hey, love muffins. It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 13, Episode 12 review. So the cast has officially arrived in Puerto Rico for the cast trip. Everybody gets settled in, but back in Atlanta, Sierra does a surprising collab with Mama D. Mama D has a food truck. Did I know she had a food? Yeah, I did know she had a food truck. They showed it last season. So Mama D has a food truck, and Sierra has Ghetto Girls Eats. So they're going to collab with using her seasoning on Mama D's recipes. But the gag is, Bambi and Sierra are like best friends, and Bam and Mama D don't get along. But Mama D asks her to help bridge the gap between her and Bam because she realizes that she was wrong, she overstepped, and that at the end of the day, her grandbabies are what matter the most. And she realizes that her son ain't innocent and he played a part in the demise of their relationship too. Sierra's like, I talked to her, but I can't make you any promises. But then Sierra brings up the whole Schoolie situation with, him allegedly messing around with Salma. Mama D, I know 24. I've known him since he was like in his 20s. That's how long he been friends with Scrappy. And Mama D was like, somebody need to Sierra says to Mama D, like, somebody that know her needs to tell her before it gets back to her husband, So Mama D just take it in, and that's the end of that scene. So then back in Puerto Rico, Mandisi comes on the trip alone, and when Zane asks him where Yandy is, he was like, she had a work trip in Greece. But everybody is seeing Yandy's post on her social media of her being on a vacation in Greece. It ain't no working going on. So everybody kind of looking like, how are you going to Puerto Rico without your wife? Like, what is going on between y'all? But of course, Mandisi's not going to tell their business because A, he don't have to, and it ain't none of their business. So Scrappy makes a comment about how Ashley don't like him ever since what happened last season with the situation with him posting about Zane and that girl when they was in London or whatever. And after that, Zane brings up the situation with Salma, but he asks the question, if one of our friends is getting cheated on, would y'all want to know? And they was like, yeah, we would want to know. And then Scrappy was like, what you mean one of our friends? Is somebody here? And he putting two and two together because only couples that are actually there is Zane and Ashley and Salma and 24. So he already put two and two together that they got something going on with them. But as far as what was shown to us, he doesn't know the logistics of everything. But in his confessional, he basically says that Zane is messy AF. Like, he was like, I ain't never met a man that was as messy as he is. He was like, he's basically the male equivalent to Carly Red. And that is the guy's truth. That little Polly Pocket loved to be in mess. He gossiped like a little woman. He argued like a little woman. He is a little girl. He reminds me, y'all know who Zane remind me of? Remember the show from back in, it was like late 80s, I believe it was. Remember, what was it? The little robot that came from outer space or something like that, or she was a robot and she had the little red and white dress or whatever. That's who Zane remind me of. Oh my goodness. He looked just like her. Yes, that little bitty messy son of a bitch. Okay. So Bambi supports Sierra at her first Ghetto Girls Eats location. Y'all let me know, has any of y'all ever used her seasoning? I need to buy some so I can see what's going on and do a recipe and see if I like it. I'm going to do that. I'll probably do a cooking tutorial or something using her seasoning. Remind me to do that, y'all. But when Bam goes, she gets to talking about how she wasn't trying to accuse Zay of getting in her business with Ray, that she never believed what Ray was saying. And Sierra admits that she jumped the gun and was doing too much, and she apologizes. She was like, I was in a bad mental state and I wasn't really listening to what you were trying to convey to me. Now, it was already said in her voiceover that she had already told Bambi that she met with Mama D, but now that they're face to face, she tells her that, Mama D wants to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with her because she wants to apologize. But Bam is hesitant, as she should be, on talking to Mama D because they've done this 50 million times and she's always ended up playing her in the end and going back on her word and getting in her and Scrappy business and going off on her on social media, calling her every name in the book and all of these things. And you can tell that Bambi has really been hurt by them, really hurt. And she even cries about it in her confessional because she was like, I just been taking all the stuff that they've been doing to me over the years, and I just take it and take it, and then they want to come back and just act like everything is all good, and I'm just supposed to take it again and put a smile on my face. She was like, they were literally trying to break me down, and I did not give them that satisfaction. So Sierra was like, look, everybody is out of town, Scrappy included. Now is the best time for y'all to sit down and talk. So Bambi was like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't know if she's really changed or not. So Ashley, back in Puerto Rico, feels like Spice don't really like her because they've had several mishaps since she came on the show. And Spice comes over and joins the conversation that she's having with Erica Banks and who else was there? Was it Carly? I think it was Carly. But anywho, so Ashley takes the moment to ask her, like, basically what's going on. She was like, I wasn't trying to be rude to you when we was on the retreat with me asking you, what does F your mother mean? And Spice was like, girl, it wasn't even as serious. Like, if you do got any type of issues or whatever with me, let's talk about it at a later date. We're on vacation. I'm not trying to argue or nothing with nobody. Which Ashley should have taken that and just been done with it, because it is a vacation. But I also understand that they are on the show and that they have a job to do or whatever. But I already knew where this was about to lead. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't give a rat's ass if Spice likes me or not. I don't care about no bitch that walk around looking like blue raspberry Kool-Aid. And whether or not she likes me, like, girl, bye. Like yourself. Okay. So Salma is with her husband and she's talking to Zane and Mendices and doing a conversation. They're talking about their anniversary again. If I heard that it's their 9-year anniversary one more again, I am going to flip. We get it. This is y'all paid vacation. Because obviously y'all couldn't afford to go on one yourself. So we get it. Okay. So in the conversation that they're having, it's revealed that she's actually African and also Muslim, and that she wanted 24 to convert until she realized that he could have several wives. So she wasn't fooling with that. But Zane looking at her like, I know you lying, considering what I'm hearing about you stepping out on your husband. Like, the hypocrisy of it all. So Scrappy goes over to speak to the girls, and he was like, I'm supposed to be kicking it with the guys. And Spice and it was like, don't be acting funny towards us. Ashley jumps into the conversation and was like, this was supposed to be a guy's trip, wasn't it? Now, when she said it, it was like, I noticed what it was. Like y'all was about to try to be on some sneaky stuff. I don't think that she was trying to be mean, but she was being inquisitive and a little accusatory, just trying to check his temperature pretty much. But I don't think she was mad, you know what I'm saying, and coming at him angry or anything like that. So Scrappy was like, what is her problem? And he says this to Spice. And she was like, what makes you think that I got a problem or whatever? So she already is on defense mode, because I forgot this part. Before he even came over, when she tried to confront Spice about them having any issues, Spice turned to Carly and was like, one. And they started laughing. So she looking like, what the fuck that mean? Like, y'all gonna clue me in? And they was like, no, it ain't even nothing that serious. Like, it's an inside joke. And the inside joke was they had made a pact that anytime anything go down, they gonna look at each other and say one or whatever. So in her mind, she thinking that they trying to be funny towards her, even though they really weren't. But the fact that they wouldn't tell her what it meant was obvious that they were trying to exclude her. So she already feeling slighted by Spice. Then Scrappy come over and asks what's her problem or whatever. So she's really in defensive mode. And so she ends up going over to where Zane and them is, because she was like, I ain't got time for that. Like, I ain't got time for the fakery and all of this type of stuff. So Zane tells Mandisi that, Yandy ain't in no damn grease alone. Like, you being way too lenient. Like, she playing you, dog. And I was like, see, this is your problem. You always get involved in other people's mess. You need to be worried about what's going on with you and Ashley, okay? But Mandisi tell him, like, you can't police nobody at the end of the day. And he basically tried to shut the conversation down or whatever. And it's obvious that Mandisi's don't care what Yandy is doing. He's not jealous. He's not pressed. Mandisi's has clocked the fuck out. Okay. So, Erica Banks comes over and joins their conversation, and Ashley tells her about all the time Spice has shaded her. She shaded her when they first met, when she called her delusional. She shaded her when Ashley was trying to ask Shekinah, was she okay or whatever, and Spice pushed her away. And she was like, like, I don't know what her problem is. And Erica sees how Spice has been towards Ashley, and it's not right. You know what I'm saying? The way she has come at her. When she called her delusional, was she right? Yeah, but you don't say that to nobody you just met. When she tried to check on Shekinah and she pushed her away, was dead wrong. She was just trying to be helpful. You know what I'm saying? I think more so than anything, she don't like Ashley because she doesn't respect Ashley, and because Ashley is friends with Bambi and Sierra, pretty much. I think that's the reason why Spice treats her the way that she does. And this just goes back to Spice always having an issue with somebody, always having an attitude. So then when people call you out on it, you can't sit up there and say, y'all always want to try to make me the bad guy. Y'all always trying to make me the bad guy. Well, bitch, stop being a goddamn bad guy. How about that, Mark Henry? Stop. So back in Atlanta, Bambi meets up with Mama D. She looked so pretty in this scene, by the way. I love her with that flip hairstyle. Bambi really looks cute with shoulder length hair. All that long mess, it's all right, but she looks so pretty with shoulder length hair. That she needs to keep. So they sit down and Mama D asks her how has she been doing since the breakup with Ray. And, she was like, I'm doing good or whatever. And I like the way that Mama D started it off, asking her how she's been and everything like that. So then Mama D tells her that, she just wants the kids to be happy and asks, can they be good moving forward? And Bambi says, she's not sure because she don't know if this is being performative. Mind you, this is the same woman that accused her of not going to college, ripping up her college degree and accusing her of cheating on her son. And you never loved my son. And all of these different things. And Bambi looked really emotional, like she was about to cry at any moment, because it's obvious that she really was hurt by Mama D. Really, truly was. And she was disrespected by Mama D on so many different occasions. So, Bambi asks about the christening, and Mama D was like, well, in my family, that's what we do. And she was like, but no, just imagine if I would have done that. He would have had a fit if I would have did that, which is so factual. And Mama D was like, well, you've had things without us. And she was like what? She was like parties and stuff. She was like, I just invited him to Xylo's party and he didn't even come. And Mama D was like, really? And she was like, yeah, I invited him that whole week. He said he was coming and then he didn't show up. And Mama D was shocked by this. And she was like, oh, like, okay. She was like, well, I'm going to tell you this, moving forward from this day, nothing like that will ever happen again. Like, I will come to you and I will talk to you. And she says that she's not going to let anyone, including Scrappy, come in between their truths. And I really do believe Mama D is really trying to change, just even with the way that she has been handling Shakira, old Mama D, it would have been war. War. But even she's meeting her with grace. And I do think that it's because of the health issues that she's been dealing with. Like she said to Bambi, I'm in my 60s now. Like, I ain't trying to do all that no more. And I honestly do think that things are working now between them as a whole, because literally over the weekend, Scrappy and Bambi and the kids and Bambi's mom went to WrestlePalooza. You know, Scrappy is a huge wrestling fan, and his son is. It was Breland's birthday. He was turning 7, I believe, and they went to the pay-per-view, which was really dope, and they went as, you know, a unit. You know, him and Bambi were getting along really well. You could tell it was strictly platonic, wasn't nothing romantic going down. The kids were having a great time. And that Sunday, I believe, the kids, you know, they taking Chinese lessons, and they had a performance with their other classmates, and they were there in the front row cheering them on and everything. So I'm really happy with the work that is being done for them to get along as co-parents. And I really hope and pray that they can stay in this space with one another, because it was really good and the kids seemed very, very happy. And one thing that I will say about Bambi, she's a great mom to those kids. She's a really good mom to those children. And from what we've seen, Scrappy is a good dad too. And they love both of their parents. So back in Puerto Rico at dinner, Scrappy basically tells everybody, you know, let's just get everything on the table. If anybody got anything that they need to say to somebody. So, Selma and Erica Banks hash out their issues, and Selma admits to her that she did get in her feelings when she said she didn't want to do the record with her. And it was mainly because she had been hearing that Erica had been talking about her. And Erica was like, wait a minute. That is not true. Who told you that? I think she said Kay or Ray or somebody like that at her old label. And she was like, yeah. She was like, see, no, that is not true. Not true at all. And I don't understand why people just go off something that somebody told them. How about you go and ask the person before you just assume and just believe what somebody else has told you? Get both sides of the story first and then make your assessment. So they clear the air on that, and they're able to make up. Then Ashley decides to confront Spice about the tension between them. And Spice says that, you know, she waited to ask her about the mother sucker comment until when she was around Bambi. And she basically accuses Ashley of just wanting camera time, wanting the spotlight. And Ashley was like, it ain't had nothing to do with me wanting to be in the spotlight. I was around 2 women who were Jamaican. You and wasn't she talking about Jessica? She was like, so I waited to ask the question when I was around y'all to get the answer. She was like, I wasn't trying to be funny. But Spice don't believe it. And she was like, y'all just basically want to be in the spotlight. And then Zane jumped in and was like, nah, it ain't never that. It ain't never that. And Scrappy was like, nah, dog, like this ain't your place. And I agree. Like, let these women argue it out. You are a man. Step out of it. She didn't say nothing to you. She wasn't being disrespectful to you as far as what we saw. So let Ashley handle her scandal. This is between 2 women. And that's why I say that Lil Zane act like a little bitch. Like, let your woman handle her stuff. Like, back up. Just because you a little mini man don't mean that you need to get in women's business. Chill out. So, baby, he shouldn't have did that, because Spice was like, I don't know why his cheating ass got a rebuttal. She was like, tell her how you was looking at my friend in London. And he was like, oh, really, Spice? And at this point, Spice get to talking Jamaican and calling them bumperclots, and she threatened to fight them and all, and then hit them in the head and all of this type of stuff. And they was like, dang. And so at this point, Zane was like, you know what, we about to go because this thing went left. So him and Ashley leave. They mad. They talking ish about Spice, calling her grandma and all of this, that, and the third. And Spice is just like, I tried to, be peaceful. Y'all saw that or whatever. But it's just like, Spice, you don't like her. And I don't know why you don't, but Spice needs to stop getting so defensive and just learn how to have a conversation with people. She sometimes do turn it up to the next level. She does. It's not always her fault, but you do play a part in some of these beefs. Then they get to asking Mandices what's going on with him and Yandy. And he like, everybody just want to be in our business. And he basically doesn't give them an answer. So Carly was like, are y'all together or not? And they like, Carly, stop. And then it goes off, child. And on next week's episode, everything is going to come out about the Salma situation, child. And it's about to be a mess. It's about to be up and stuck, okay? Up and a stuck, okay? And I can't wait to find out what the hell is about to happen, because it looks like 24 is going to crash out, okay? I'm going to give this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta a C+. This felt like a filler episode for me. Seemed like all the good juicy stuff gonna go down on next week's episode, so I'm looking forward to that. But y'all let me know what y'all thought of this week's episode. Let's talk about it down below in the comment section. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. T Squad, I love you, and I will see you guys next week on my next review. Bye.